So what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of 2 a.m. in Sweden, aka We Got Next, aka the show that you never know what's about to come out of our mouths. Steven, how you been? How's life going? Looks like you got a little magic over there.
Yeah, I think it's fitting.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm getting sick again, but I don't know if it's a different illness or just like the same one, and it's just been lingering for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. Uh, the kids have a half day tomorrow, Thursday, and then they're off on Friday.
For
Um,
what?
parent teacher conferences, I think, in like end of the marking period or something like that. Like
Yeah.
my kids are, like, we got their report cards. They're in kindergarten and second grade. I don't need to know much. Like I know what's going on with my kid. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and if I didn't, the teachers would tell us. Like the teachers will
Yeah.
keep you informed on what's happening with your kids. So like, what are they going to tell me that I don't already know?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Like, and if you have those parents of kids who are just out of control, do that shit at some like on the weekend or something.
Yeah.
Don't cancel school for it. Don't let them come home early for that. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's it. That's it.
So just as a heads up, we're gonna go with the rundown. First thing we're kind of gonna dive into some like random topics or quick hot takes, and then I'm gonna check on certain things college football wise. We're gonna save the best for last so we can just give that most of the time and attention. Then we're gonna talk about the all-star reserves and everything like that, and then of course what you got at the end. So because we're starting with a lot of the hot takes, I'm gonna bring up some of the wild things that happen at work, and then we're gonna end up going into the college football type of side. Okay, Steven, listen to this. Get this. Two things. Number one, I'll start with the easy one. So I'll bring up golf with this one guy at work, like here and there. So we'll talk about, of course, the indoor golf tournament that they're doing, all that stuff. We'll talk about that, TGL. Um, and he's like, yeah, so Christian, do you want to go golfing with me like in March or April? I'm like, all right, here we go. Look, first you guys want me to go shooting with you, then you want me to go play golf with y'all. Look, I'm not gonna have a life at the rate y'all want to end up going. So then he told me he just got a new club and then he got a new bag. What is it? Callaway? Is that the brand? Yeah. So he ended up saying he was spending money on that. That's like one of the few things that his wife is perfectly fine with the end of if he spends money on that. And I said, this sounds like someone else I know that could spend money on something with that. And he was like, yeah, man, that's like one of the few things. Like, she doesn't get mad about it. She understands. And I'm just going to go hang with the boys. So he said he's going to show me a bunch of different golf courses and like country clubs in Virginia. I'm looking forward to seeing how that ends up going. He's like, cool, dude. It's the most random conversation, Steve, and I'll have to be connecting with them. One time it'll be talking about investing on something. The next time it'll be talking about golf. Don't get me started on when it comes to hockey. And I'll just say, I don't care for the regular season. I care for the playoffs because I can bet. I'm not betting on a regular season hockey game. So that was that.
The golf thing is important.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important in business.
Yeah.
Life. It's a good skill to have. Just
Yep.
like, but you don't need to be Tiger Woods. You don't need to
No.
be good. But as long as you can quickly, like, and I've just learned this over the last couple of years of my golf game. It's not going anywhere. Like, it's not going to get better. It's not going to get worse. I am who I am on the golf course. I play enough times during the year. I get to the range enough times during the year where like I'm okay with where I'm at because I'm fairly decent. I've been playing since I was 9. I used to work at a
Mm-hmm.
golf course, so like I never took it seriously. I just wanted to be good enough where I could go out with the boys. And like
Yes,
I'm
exactly.
not entering tournaments. I don't belong to a country club. Now, if I did, obviously my game would be significantly better because I'd be playing all the time. But like I don't care enough to do so. I just want to be good enough to go out with the boys and
Mm-hmm.
still be good after like a 6-pack.
Yes.
So which is like yeah, I golf maybe like 3 times a year, but it's like that's a good skill to have. I know I can get out there, and I have a very, very good chance of hitting it pretty straight and pretty far,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And like I have some of like my buddy, my neighbor actually, he's really good at golf. He
Mm-hmm.
shot I went out and golf with him twice last summer. Both times he shot a 78. Do you know how good that is?
So I
Well,
only
par is like
know it.
72. Like
Yes.
typically the par for 18 holes is 72 on a golf course, 70, 71 sometimes depending on the length, but 72 is par. 78 is like incredible. It was one of
Six
those
over.
things, all real
Yeah.
quick. It was one of those when you play with someone that's good, um, and we've all done this, like, when we used to play hoops back in the day, you always had like that one really good kid that was always playing. It's cool to see that, like, but like you saw that a lot with hoops. Watching someone like up close that's really good at golf is very like my round with the shit because I was just like kind of I was driving the car with him. But we had it was four of us, so like I was just kind of like damn, like, this is very impressive. He's just like he knows what exact distances. He does like the rangefinder. He was just on the money and like
One.
It was just one of those deals. A 78. I wasn't really paying attention to his score. I knew it was going to be good. I'm thinking to myself maybe like 83. He's like add it up 78. I'm like, damn, that's impressive. And it was just really fun to watch. So golf, if you ever get to play with someone like that, it's pretty cool. Like, because golf's a really fucking hard sport.
It is.
It's tough, dude. It's tough. But if you can develop like a small skill with it, yeah, that very crucial in the game of life, especially in like the corporate world.
Oh, easily. So speaking of corporate world, on the flip side, so this is one guy, not going to say his name because I promise you the other people that watch the show are going to know exactly who it is after this, but he had been gone for a month. So he ended up having shoulder surgery, so he wasn't in there. And like we would always message here and there because he would ask, everyone always asks me my take on sports. They ask me if I'm going to bet on XYZ as usual. And so he said, like, oh, I'll be back in like a week or so. So the lunch table won't be quiet anymore. I was like, oh, you know what? Cool. Like I lost the one dude, Denzel, he went to another job. Then this guy, he was gone for a month. So I was like, all right, cool. I forgot so much about how this person was. And I was in the middle of a meeting with this girl. We were talking about this new app that I'm working with this company on, like bringing to us. So her and I were just talking. My office door was open. The guy comes into the office. So think of him coming into the office and standing right behind you on the couch. And he's looking at me because essentially you and I are facing each other. You're me, and he's standing behind you and kind of just like listening to our conversation. When I tell you, it throws off the whole conversation I was having with the woman because I'm just thinking, how many people are just going to walk into a room when two people are talking and then just wait there in the corner?
Yeah, most people wouldn't even think twice. They would just turn around and leave.
No.
I mean, it's like, go ahead, proceed. Just pretend like I'm not even here.
So he does that.
He's
and
that
then,
kind of guy.
So he does that. She gets up and was like, yeah, that's all I have to talk to you about. So she leaves. Then he's like, oh, I only needed to ask you that one question. So you answer. So like, I'm good. So they both leave. Then she comes back like 3 minutes later. And she was like, he threw me all the way off. Like it just threw off my whole train of thought.
Yeah.
And she was like, he didn't even read the room. Like he just came in. Like
no. He does not. That guy does not read the room.
No.
He just takes it upon himself to make his presence known.
Yeah. And I'm just like, then you stand, it makes it weird. Because okay, if you engage in the conversation, cool, that's weird. Don't do it again. But if you just stand in the corner and just wait,
chilling. It's occupying a little space and just waiting for you to turn the conversation.
Exactly. So wanted to get those two out the way because we're always gonna break the ice. So now we'll end up diving into the things that I want to ask Steven first. Number one, have you watched or did you watch the East-West Shrine game?
No.
You didn't. No. So, okay, from your perspective, what are your thoughts when you hear them talking about different college athletes that either did well or struggled? Do you put any stake into it or it doesn't matter to you?
You mean like do well at those bowl games?
Correct. So like they were talking about Jalen Milroe and then Shiloh Sanders and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but that's all stuff that shows up on tape. Like Sanders, for example. Like I watch those games. He gets beat sometimes. He's not a great he's not a great tackler. He's more like a try and lay you out guy, but he's not a great tackler. Gets beat. He can make plays though, for sure. But where does that put him in the draft? Not high. Like
no,
he's not Travis Hunter. Like he's not like ball hawk. He's not like his awareness isn't like the same. So I don't know, 4th, 5th round pick. He's not even that big either. Nope. So probably like 4th or 5th at best. But like you look at Jalen Milroe, he's like a poor man's Jalen Hurts. I don't think he's a
Yes.
I don't think he's a starting quarterback in the NFL. Like he's good. Like he can have those games, but kind of like it's kind of inconsistent with things.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have like the most amount of talent around him. Like previous Alabama quarterbacks. So we had to do more with less, which at Alabama is still a lot. But yeah, he's not. He's probably like a day 2 or day 3 guy. The draft.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, he's one of those. Do you try him at running back? Like, that's been a rumor. This isn't like a Lamar Jackson try him at running back thing, but maybe. And he'll get feedback. They all get feedback from this. The other thing was Travis Hunter wants to play both ways in the league. That ain't happening.
Yeah,
Play
that's
that
not.
much.
No.
If you ask, I've seen a ton of NFL guys, current players, former players, get asked that question. And they're like, no. Like I could see a
Mm-hmm.
scenario where I think he should play DB in the league. I think he's way better at DB than he is receiver, even though he's a really good receiver.
Yeah.
But his like natural like talent and like potential greatness is at corner. But I can see a scenario, obviously, where he gets 7 or 8 snaps on offense a game. Like you have to do that though, because he's that good and he's a game changing player. But to
Mm-hmm.
think he's going to play, 130 snaps a game in the league with guys that are way bigger, stronger, faster than in the college and the Big 12.
Yep.
Defenses are different, offenses are different. I know he's a generational type of player, but no, you're not playing 130 snaps a game in the league in a 17 game season. No,
Yeah.
no, sir. No, sir.
Yeah. So that's
Also, we'll get to this, but my guy Abdul Carter, Penn State's own, my man's gonna be the number one pick in the draft.
it starts to look. He's creeping up more and more.
He is going to be a problem. He is going to be, man. I don't want to. I don't. I don't. He might be better than Michael Parsons, and that's saying a
Really.
lot. I think if you
Yeah.
put him like, I think I don't know. Maybe that's a stretch. Michael Parsons is like a defensive player, caliber player, but Abdul Carter is going to be a problem. I think he's the
Mm-hmm.
best player in the draft, besides probably Travis Hunter. He's way better than the quarterbacks. I think he's gonna be a problem.
See, that's
But we'll get it.
yeah. So of course the scouting combine comes right after um the Super Bowl, like a couple of weeks. Don't even need to ask you about the Pro Bowl because we both know how many people watch the Pro Bowl actually. Although I did see Jared Goff did win some sort of award there. So I guess kudos to him. The other part I wanted to kind of go into now is the NBA and the trades. So for anyone that's clearly going to watch this, probably after the other videos that went out, no, I wanted to get out like quick thoughts. My thing is what I'm trying to end up doing, especially for the show, is as soon as something happens, like put out something and then being able to dive into it deeper when we get on the show, especially because it's that quick attention grabber. The reason why I didn't do this on Sunday, and I'll go this into it at the end of the show, I was getting ready to go to South Carolina. That was a shit show. We'll talk about that later. But the first trade I want to bring up is Luka for Anthony Davis. Number one, what were your initial thoughts when you saw it? And then two, how were your thoughts after that?
So much like you, that's how I woke up on Sunday. That happened like an hour after I went to bed.
Yeah.
I mean, like the goal is to win, right? The goal is to win, but the goal is to win now. And the Mavs, I think, with AD, we all like. I love AD. AD is probably currently maybe one of my favorite players in the league. I love Anthony Davis. I think he's really good.
What's up? Yeah. My thought process when it comes to Anthony Davis, I really think that their team is good. Like I said that earlier, but having AD, Clay, Kyrie, and then they just got Caleb Martin too. If they can get one more piece, I think they could be good. But what is your thought?
And they have Klay Thompson, dude. They have 3. I know Klay Thompson's not like whatever, but they all 3
He
of those
also
guys
couldn't play the way he wanted to with Luka and Kyrie.
right. Those guys have all been there, done that. they've all won a title different ways.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
On different teams. Two of them with LeBron, so those guys know how to win. And like Kyrie and AD are going to work.
Yeah.
Like Kyrie's not gonna be like, no, fuck that. This is my team. Like, no, dude. They both want to win a title. Everyone's getting older. I think they're all around 34.
Yep.
So they probably got 2 or 3 years left of like in the all-star, all NBA basketball. They're still like Anthony Davis is one of, if not the best two-way players in the league. He put up 25 and almost 12 this year. Over 2 blocks. Again, he's one of the best defensive players in the year. Should have been a defensive player of the year multiple times. So I think long-term wise, it benefits the Lakers because Luka's 25.
Yes.
I forgot about that. Forgot that he's 25 years old. And took them to the finals last year by himself. He needs to play better defense. I think everybody knows that. He needs to stop bitching a lot. Everyone knows that too. He won't get away with that when he's with the Lakers. I think more so than teaming up with LeBron, I think him teaming up with JJ Redick is also going to enhance his career. He's got to play better defense, but the Lakers need to get someone to play defense too, because like they traded away all their entire defense with Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Short term wise, I think this benefits the Mavs more because I really hope I'm such an AD fan, but I really hope that he just balls out the rest of the year and goes on like an MVP type of run. Puts up like 30 and 12 and 4 whatever, something crazy, right? Just balls out, and I really hope that. I'd love to see them win a title this year, the Mavs. I'd love to see AD carry them to a title. Like, I love Kyrie. Klay Thompson, I hated him for a couple of years, but I don't mind him now. It'd be cool to see them win a title. And, like, AD get one by himself. That was never going to happen in New Orleans. Well, if him and Boogie would have stayed healthy, that would have been something. But the trade's weird for sure. It doesn't make sense. Something was going on in Dallas that we're not going to know about, or if we do, it's going to be, years down the road. Someone knows something that they shouldn't know, or like whatever, because you don't trade like arguably one of like the 2 or 3 best players in the league for a guy that's 34, injury prone. Yes, he's played a lot of games the last couple of seasons, but still injury prone. Getting older. Oh, wait. Anthony Davis is 31.
Anthony Davis 31. Kyrie's 32. Klay is 34.
Klay is 34. Okay, so fuck that, dude. Yeah, this is like a 3-year window for those guys.
I'm saying, yeah.
Like AD's 31. Like they say, athletes' prime is 28 to 32, and I'm like, man, I love LeBron. Everyone knows how I feel about LeBron and the Lakers. I'd love to see LeBron win again, obviously, but I would be super happy if the Mavs won a title this year and AD was the reason why, because he fucking deserves it. Like, I think it should have been his team in LA. I don't know how you feel about that, but I think it should have been his team, and then kind of have like a Kobe Shaq type of deal where AD is the dominant one, but Kobe is still like LeBron's still there. They never got the position filled, kind of figured out with him either playing the 4 or the 5. But they won the title with it, and that was the goal. It was a weird trade, dude. Waking up like that was not cool at all.
No.
Like, phone was buzzing for no reason. It's like 7:15. I'm like, what the fuck? You texting me? You texted me like 6. Like, I had texts from like 2, 3. I had West Coast friends. Like, you got the East Coast people who don't sleep. You got like, I had every hour I had a new text from someone. Instagram posts. Whatever. Damn, guys, like we all do the same shit. Let me sleep. I'll get to it. I'll get to it in the morning. I think you texted me at like 6 o'clock. I'm like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah,
it was doing
craziest thing that I saw. A couple of things with that. Number one, the Lakers are currently the 5th seed. The Mavericks are the 8th seed. I can see the Mavericks securing a top 6 seed with this. They're playing tonight against the Sixers. They're losing. But you could tell Kyrie was able to take over. Kyrie has 25 points right now in the game, and it's not over. And that's without Anthony Davis. So when you get Anthony Davis back, Clay will start to get his like legs under him, and then they should be able to do something with that. On the side of the Lakers, like you said, they traded away their defense, so they're gonna have to find a big man. Now, the important part that people are not paying attention to is they traded their 2029 first round pick. What that means is they don't have shit before then. Like if you're going that far
You don't know
out,
anything. Yeah.
you don't have much to end up working with, which is why they have to make these trades. So they're making player for player trades. And the reason why they don't have these picks is actually the same person they just sent to Dallas, which is where most of their picks ended up going. And then they had to trade picks to get Rui. They ended up trading picks to get some of their other players. So they don't really have much. And that's the problem. You focus so much on LeBron's time when he was there to get him the help to get that ring, which he did. But now you have to end up figuring out, all right, what are you going to do? Because you have to start on Luka with stuff. Unless Luka just lives, breathes, sleeps with LeBron, Luka's still going to be Luka. But if he gets on that LeBron regimen, does everything LeBron wise, he really could go down as a top 5, top 10 player. Like if he becomes like LeBron, he can really
Look out.
Yeah, he can
Look
be
out.
special because he was doing that in slow motion. So
Yeah.
imagine if he speeds that up.
Even
at
like
all.
even like a little bit.
Yeah.
Like a just like a little bit. He'll be he's gonna be a problem. Like he's
Yeah.
5. He's what? He's
Also, Luka is not in the All-Star game this year.
he's missed a lot of time. He's only played 22 games just this year. But he's
Mhm.
averaging 28, 8, and 7.
Yes.
And there's only 2 guys in the history of the NBA to average 27, 7, 7. LeBron and Luka.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago, he finished third in MVP. He averaged 33, 9, and 9.
He's doing this
And
in slow motion.
and
That's
like,
the
he's a career 47%, not great. His threes are getting a lot better. He takes a lot of them, but they're getting better. 35% last year, 38% the year before. Gets to the foul line a ton, obviously. Like, yeah, he's a special player. He can easily, if he gets just a little bit of what like LeBron's got that's made him great, he'll be fine. And the Lakers will win multiple titles. And they're gonna bring someone in after LeBron's done.
Absolutely.
Like they're not gonna just make it like it is now, where it's LeBron and a cast of characters. They're not gonna do that. They're going to bring someone else in when LeBron's done. Free agency, they're gonna sign a big man. They're gonna team him up with somebody. Like we all know it's coming. It's just a matter of who.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
wonder if they were add any more pieces, because like you can't what do? You have Jackson Hayes play the 5.
the
Like
team
you
is
gonna put Rui at the 5? Like that?
no.
You're trading away all your defense
Yeah.
with AD. You gotta find someone else. But
Yeah.
I guess that's whatever.
So here's my question for you. When LeBron's done, and clearly Luka's going to be the one, who do you go with as the 2, Dalton or Austin?
I would probably Austin at the 2. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably Austin Reeves, and then you put connected like the 3.
You put him at the
as small
3.
forward. But then if you
Really?
but that's what I'm saying. Like if you sign him like a big man with them and give them someone else down low, you don't really like. You can kind of, because Dalton connects. I think 6'8", 6'9". He's a big boy. He can play that. He can play like that. That medium size 3. I think he's a big boy. Of course, my
Jeez.
browser's frozen. What's going on with
That's
this?
okay.
Is he?
I didn't know he was 6'8". He's 6'6", so close enough.
Close enough. Whatever. Austin Reeves is what he's. Man, I'm way off on all this shit tonight.
Yeah, it's all good. Some people do that. While you're looking at that, the other trade I wanted to kind of bring up was the De'Aaron Fox one. Yeah, so they're about all of them are around the same height at that point. But what are your thoughts on the De'Aaron Fox going to San Antonio trade, and then on the flip side of it, Zach LaVine going to the Kings?
Whatever. That doesn't do anything for me.
No.
Cool. He's reunited with DeMar DeRozan. Sick, bro. Like you're in Sacramento. Whatever. I looked at the standings the other day in the league or in the association, and The Spurs suck. I don't know how they're so
Yes,
bad.
they just have a great player, but they're not great. The Kings are going to plummet now. I don't think they're going to stick around where they are. And I said this earlier, not this year, the next year, the Spurs are going to make the playoffs. Like, give them a year for De'Aaron Fox and Wemby to work together. Give them some time to talk with Chris Paul a little more. They'll be fine.
They're 21-26. That's
Yep.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh. And the Lakers are only I know they're a game and a half back of the Nuggets. They play the Clippers tonight, yeah.
Yeah.
The
If
Suns,
you look at
the Suns are looking to make moves. Everyone wants to. Everyone's looking to sign Kevin Durant. Everyone's looking to get signed by the Warriors. These reports are
yeah,
stupid.
that's the funniest thing ever. Because the Warriors are trying to get anybody, and nobody necessarily cares to do
No one
that
gives a shit.
anymore.
They're done.
No. Yeah. And you can tell it's done, but it's a matter of how do you end up doing your write off in the sunset? Because right now, Steph is looking like the Kobe time when they wrote off in the sunset. Whereas LeBron on the flip side, they at least give him some help to work with. They're doing something
I mean, they're
there.
the 5th seed.
Yeah.
Like they're playing really well. The Warriors are just not.
No, but the crazy part is the 7 and the 11th seed are separated by a game and a half. That's it.
Shout
And
out
then,
to
of
the
course,
Pistons, though.
you have 28 games behind are the Jazz and the Pelicans, which,
Hate to see that.
yeah. So last thing with the NBA, and then I want to jump over into the NFL. I do every single time I'm going to do this, but I have to give the props to the Pistons, but I also have to give props to Cade Cunningham for making the All-Star game, which
Shout
is,
out to
I
him.
personally think it's first of many. If the Pistons continue to be the way they are right now,
Yep.
he'll make some more
Yep.
at that. So, but we got to get into the time of the hour, the thing that everyone, of course, cares about, what people want to talk about. It's the Chiefs-Eagles game, 6:30 on Sunday. Before we go into our actual thoughts and pick on the game, and then we talk about the spread, I kind of want to walk position by position. And before we even do that, have you paid attention to any of Media Day?
No. I didn't intentionally watch it, but I have seen obviously the clips. I saw a ton of clips of some reporter asking Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes who their favorite ref is.
Yes. Yeah.
You know how I feel about that kind of shit. It's just fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. It's like, it's like, okay. That it's just
Certain
that
things you
just,
don't ask.
but it's like, it's like these halftime interviews or like silent reporters. What the fuck do you think they're gonna say?
Yeah.
What do you really think? Like, what do you really think they're gonna tell you about the first half? Like, honestly, what could they possibly tell you? Like, if you ask Travis Kelce whose favorite ref is, I'm guessing 99% of the time, 99% sure he was going to say, come on, something like, good question, next question. Like, what do you want him to say?
Yeah.
He can't, there's no good that comes out of that. Ugh.
So,
did you watch it though?
So I didn't watch it like that, but I did catch a lot of different pieces that they end up showing from it. So the first one that I wanted to talk about was Jalen Hurts. So they were talking to Jalen Hurts, and one guy ended up saying, how do I end up looking as good as you, essentially? And he was like, I can't really help you out with that. That's like a DNA thing. So that was like one thing. Of course, Jameis Winston was there. Whenever Jim goes anywhere, that's always just something to end up looking at. The other one that I was going to bring up, which you brought up, was the referees. And it's kind of one of those times of they just say any and everything. That's kind of what you just start to see. They'll bring up any random topic. I know they also brought up Chris Jones was talking, saying, you all why do you guys care so much about this whole ref thing? And then on the flip side, he kept saying, like, if y'all want us to not be here, hire Spagnuolo. Like, if you hire him, this ain't going to happen year over year. Now, who I am happy for Media Day, also congratulations to Saquon, but who I am happy for is DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know if you heard that whole thing, which was great.
Yep.
How he was talking about his dad passed and the 2 times he can wear this jacket is if he makes it to the Super Bowl
Right.
or on a wedding. And I'm like, you really can't get mad at that. Like, there's nothing you can get mad at. If there's any reason that I would hope that the Chiefs could win, it's just for Hopkins. I don't care about anything else, but for D-Hop to win, that's almost like Damian Lillard or Chris Paul or any of those of, yo, you've just been there. Like, I just really want you to win one. I wouldn't say he's the Charles Barkley of it, but anyone that knows D-Hop, you remember those Texans years where he just was balling year after year. Then he started to go on his Julio Jones tour of like, all right, we're going to go to the Tennessee Titans real quick. Now we're going to end up hopping over here. But that was the main thing there. So I kind of want to dive into the positions. First position is quarterback. I assume we both have the same one, but who do you think has the advantage at quarterback?
Chiefs.
Yeah. So that you can't go against basically the GOAT at this point at the position right now. So I got the Chiefs. Running back.
Eagles.
So Eagles as well. You're dealing with one superstar running back, whereas on the flip side, you just have like a multitude of different pieces that are combining together. Next one, tight end.
Chiefs.
So I'm going with the Chiefs, but this year it's a little bit of a closer margin than in previous years because Travis Kelce isn't fully what he was in the past. I still wonder, and I don't know how many people think about this. I don't know how he's so open, but yet you know the ball is going to him.
All the time.
Every time.
It's the same play, too.
Yes. And it's always, he's never doing like out routes or like curls and that. He's just randomly in the middle of the field. It just sits there and nobody thinks, oh,
he's open for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
He's just standing
there. That's what it is. Yeah. Give it to him. And that's kind of how it goes. The next position, which I'm curious as to your thoughts, but wide receiver.
Eagles.
Okay. So
I think those are game-changing wide receivers.
Yeah.
So, D-Hop is not D-Hop.
No.
Xavier Worthy is a game changer, but I think more so AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are.
Mm-hmm. So same thing. I would agree. I would end up saying the wide receiver position. The next position we have, and I'm curious for you, offensive line.
Eagles, easily.
I have the Eagles in that one. You could see it from 2 different reasons. Number one, of course, running back. Look what Saquon's doing. But on the second side, Jalen Hurts, after his knee injury, they've kept him upright. So that's kind of the other thing that I can bring up. The one that we might differ is defense. Who do you have for your defense?
I would probably say the Eagles.
Okay.
Their D-line is really good. Jalen Carter is a problem.
Solid, yeah.
I think they'll miss Brandon Graham more so from like a leadership standpoint.
Did they say if he's playing or not?
There's no way. There's just no way. By the way, I didn't see the score of the Pro Bowl until just right now. 76-63. I don't know how to respond to that, but just put that out there. But like Nolan Smith is playing really well. He's playing out of his mind lately. He's a problem. Georgia guy, another Georgia guy.
Brandon Graham's supposed to play.
Right. Zach Bond is really good.
He is.
Cooper DeJean is
nice.
Shout out to the white boys,
solid. Dude. Shout out.
He's going to be a guy. He's going to be a problem in a couple of years, probably for like defensive player of the year caliber. It's also like, what defense do I trust more? Chris Jones, you got, I think overall the Eagles have a better overall defense. Like, and I think it's probably by like a considerable margin. I think the Eagles have more talent on their defense. But I think Kansas City can do more with their defense because of Spags. But I think the Eagles have a better overall defense, like talent wise and scheme wise.
Yeah. So just breaking it down from the flip side, number one, the same way we look at LSU's wide receivers and we say, how the hell did they win those games? Because they won them by so much when it was Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You could say that about the Georgia defense those years that they were like running through people, because you see them on the Eagles, every line, they are like, you have both Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter up front. Nolan Smith is coming into his own too. And then imagine when Nakobe Dean finally can come back again. It's gonna Jalen Carter, for people that say, oh, how did he fall? Listen, I don't think you guys watched the draft. I don't think you watched the things leading up to it. He didn't fall because he just some random issue. There was a big issue that happened, and they were like, do we even take a chance on it? And Howie just decides to be like, I'll do it. Like,
okay, right?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
If he can play, he can play.
That's really what it came down to. And so that's the thing this week that you're gonna start to see, and I started to see it. Different things that have happened in the past are starting to bubble up. They did this before. The famous one, the Miami Dolphins, former Miami Dolphins offensive lineman, when he was caught with the bong, then he went to go play for the Texans. So that was crazy. Yeah.
Crazy, bro.
The night of the draft too.
Moment, dude. That was so nuts.
Yeah.
The whole gas mask and everything, dude. That was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's like, can it really be him? That was him.
Yeah.
He takes it off. You're like, damn.
It was him. Yeah.
That's too bad.
So that was like one. And then the other one that I like to talk about, I don't know if it'll come up. It will. Lyle Collins. So the Cowboys drafted him after the shit that he had going on too. It's just one of those they are not just falling because they're falling. Things have happened as to why they have fallen.
There's a reason.
Yeah, and if you want to take the chance on them, so be it. Congratulations. You can end up doing that, because look at what happened to the Eagles. The Eagles, I will give the notch to the Chiefs, and I tell this to everyone. I do not trust the Eagles defense as far as I can throw them, because of the fact there is one level of that defense that I will never trust.
Yes.
And it is the secondary. That secondary, yes, Cooper DeJean is fine, good. You have Quinyon Mitchell, solid. Darius Slay, all right, depends on the day of the week. Reed Blankenship, like all of them. I get what they're doing. But you have Patrick Mahomes on the other side, and you have DeAndre Hopkins, and you have Xavier Worthy, and you have Hollywood Brown when they want to end up playing. They're going to find a way to shred it. And when you end up seeing like these random routes of like, damn, they made the Eagles secondary look like that. I will tell you this all the time. There are only two defenses I don't trust more than the Eagles. That's the Ravens and the Panthers. And that's all I got to end up saying about that. So with that being said, who do you have winning the game?
Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I really can't get with people who are picking against the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can say whatever you want about how good Saquon Barkley is, how good the defense has been at times, the receivers, a lot of these guys were on that team that just went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago or whatever that was. But no. Chiefs are the Chiefs. They're like the modern day dynasty. And until proven otherwise, I cannot bet against them. That's what there's a reason why I pick LeBron or whatever team he's on every year. Because I've seen him do it. I saw him take his team to the finals 8 straight years. And the Chiefs could go on a 3-peat, bro, in the league. That's so impressive. Winning one is crazy.
Yeah.
Like you saw with the Seahawks. You saw the Seahawks. Like they won that one, they were back in another one, and then they lost, and it broke that fucking entire team. But the Chiefs just keep on rolling, dude. Just keep on rolling. And they might have lost a couple Super Bowls along the way, but they just keep rolling. And until like we picked the Eagles' offensive line, we picked their receivers, their running backs, we picked the tight end for the Chiefs, but like the position that matters is the quarterback. And there's no better quarterback in the league right now than Patrick Mahomes. Numbers wise, I don't care. None of those numbers matter to me. And regular season MVPs do not matter. He gets it done whenever he's in the playoffs. It gets done in the biggest games and biggest moments. Like, again, we talked about it. Seen them in every scenario to manageable somehow to lose a game. 13 seconds left, still won. Like crazy streak that he's on. So who I think's gonna win is the Chiefs. Who I want to win, that's also tough too, because you know me, I love the history of the game. Being able to say like we saw a 3-peat and like really just like as a sports fan appreciate them doing that. Like, there's no reason to hate the Chiefs. I don't get it. There's no reason. Like Taylor Swift, whatever, dude. Like that's fine. If that's who he's dating, cool, man. Like because they're winning, the refs say what you want. Like it doesn't like no. Like there's no reason to hate it. Like no, I didn't hate the Pats. You know, like maybe it's like the Boston thing, but like I didn't hate the Pats. Like I was a big fan of the Pats. Like that was cool to watch. They fucking dominated for a long time. The Chiefs are doing that right now. But the homie in the green 2-6, that's the guy. Penn State's finest, dude. Like
yeah.
I told you last week, I'll only be happy if the Eagles win if Barkley is MVP of the Super Bowl.
I think they would give it to him.
Nothing more as a Penn State fan. Would love nothing more than to see Saquon Barkley go for like 31 carries, 220, and like 3 touchdowns. And they win, and he's the MVP. That would be dope. Be huge for Penn State, huge for Pennsylvania sports. Would love to see that, but I got to pick the Chiefs until something else happens.
So a couple of things I'll end up bringing up with this before I say my pick. The first one is the spread is plus minus 1.5, which clearly you knew that. No, Chiefs? They really, Chiefs. Nobody, I'm looking on 2 different places. So I always do a lot of my stuff from FanDuel, but then the other one is, so in my world of crypto, we have something called Polymarket, and Polymarket is just another betting place. And it's 48% for the Eagles, 53% for the Chiefs. Everything is close. It is a close Super Bowl, I would say. And so far on Polymarket, they've done $1.17 million in volume. So it's a solid amount of volume that's been traded over there, and most of it's going the favor of the Chiefs. We'll see how that ends up playing out, especially as it gets closer. It's minus 120 for the Chiefs. They are saying over under 48.5 points. So that's roughly around like 25 points a piece.
Fair.
Like
fair.
Give or take some. Yeah.
I think it could be first team to 30 type of thing.
Yeah, I think so. That's kind of how
I got some friends. I just found out some of our friends are going down to the game. He's a big Eagles fan. He was at the game. He was at the NFC title game last week. He's going to the Super Bowl now. You know what kind of I was just gonna say, you know what kind of skrill you gotta have to do both. This was and they're both him and his wife are both doctors.
Goodness.
But that's the neighborhood that I live in, and I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, when Penn State was playing Notre Dame, Brooke was like, "You're either going to this game or that game."
Not both.
Like, you say, "Homie, you ain't doing both." I'm trying to finagle that. She's like, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but you're not doing both." These motherfuckers, he's from Philly, went to Penn State, but is a huge Eagles fan. So he went to the game last weekend, which is like last minute thing.
Yep.
It's like you don't know until the week before. Same thing with the Super Bowl. Like he's like him and his wife. They're like, he's like, "Hey, let's do it." She's like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, we'll go down Saturday and come back Monday." She's like, "Okay." She's like, so he went to the NFC title game by himself. She's like, "You're not getting away with doing this back to back trips. Yeah. Like I'm going down with you." He's like, "Cool, dope. Let's fucking do it. Done." I'm like, "Word,
Steven.
You know how much Skrilla? You know how much coin that is in that bank account? Their house has an elevator in it. If that tells you anything."
Well, Steven used to have an elevator too.
I did. I did. Yeah, I did. That was fucking dope.
So
anyway,
one thing I do want to end up saying, because I'm obsessed with ticket price and how they
you picked the Chiefs, right?
Yeah, I'm picking the Chiefs. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs in that one. But believe it or not, the cheapest ticket to get in, it's not terrible when you compare it to other years. It is basically $3,700. Sorry, $3,600. It's expensive. Don't get me wrong. It's expensive because, mind you, for anyone that doesn't realize, I can go to a regular season game at this same arena for free, basically, or for like $150 if you want to talk about actual price. You got to pay $3,600 to go talk to God. Like, that's really what you're doing. And then to be close to if you're near the 50-yard line on the Chiefs side, it's $10,000. If you're on the 50-yard line for the Eagles side, you're paying $12,000. So
that is some coin, dude, that I do not have.
And then so imagine the suites there. These are just regular seats. Imagine getting a suite at one of these places.
No, that's not even like a what you know or who you know. That's like a
who are you?
Like, yeah, who you are. Yeah, like that's like you're him. You're him.
Yeah, you are him.
You're bringing along the homies. You're doing everything possible to make it like the greatest thing in the world. 50-yard line, sweet tickets. Man, I just want to know the rise. I just want to know that person for like a couple days.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's for anyone, and we'll go into what you got. I'll let you go first, and then I'll save mine because it goes off of this.
I got nothing, dude. Actually, I want to give a shout out to Kay Adams.
Shout out.
Because why not?
Yeah.
That's it. Let's give a shout out to Kay Adams. She's got. Have you seen her interviews with all these with the players?
I'm impressed,
bro. They are in a trance.
They are. Yes.
They hop on. They see her. You see, what's his name? Dude, running back for the Chargers.
JK.
Dobbins. Yeah, he's like a motherfucker. Yeah. She's bad, but shout out to Adams.
Shout out. So my two that I have, number one, people always ask, what do you end up seeing either for yourself or for the podcast in 5 years? This would be honestly one thing. If we could end up doing what Pat McAfee and of course First Take and all those ones, they do it on a higher level. If we can end up just getting, oh, hey, here's 2 tickets there. And you can also be at Media Row. Because of course, a lot of the different people, they go down, they have like different conference centers or convention centers where it's essentially podcast row. If we could ever be able to get into one of those, that'd be dope. Yeah. So even doing that, of course, Pat McAfee got it different. He gets to be in the domes where he can do it, but everyone else, they'll be in podcast row. I'd want to do something like that. So in 5 years, I think that that's something hopefully can end up being done. I always joke around and say, everyone knows you just got to be patient with it, because as soon as you turn around, that could have been where your opportunity was. So if you keep just trucking forward, that's a big thing. Yeah. The second one I have,
philosopher over here.
Yeah. the other one is, I got to give a congratulations to both of A'ja Wilson and Caitlin Clark. Both of them got their jerseys retired. For anyone that was wondering, I was actually down in Columbia to end up seeing A'ja Wilson get her jersey retired. So shout out to the homies that made that happen. Yes. So that's the thing. Bam Adebayo was courtside. Wild. Another one some people might know, Wanda Sykes was randomly there courtside. It was super random to end up seeing. But so they had a bodyguard, security guard for A'ja Wilson, more so, but it was for A'ja Wilson, Bam Adebayo. A couple of other WNBA players were there too, but the main one was A'ja Wilson. But the bodyguard was taller than Bam. It was insane to see, because you could just imagine, as soon as they got up, my man was just moving around.
Bam's 6'9".
Yes, yeah. So just imagine the bodyguard. It was insane. Bam kept the glasses on the whole time. They left at halftime. You never saw them come back. Oh, Becky Hammond was there too. They were out. I don't know if they were just underneath and they never came back out.
Gone. Or they were gone. They were already at the club having some dinner. They were good.
They were gone.
We did what we had to do. We out.
Yeah. So it was her jersey retirement. And then the other part is, and Steven, I want your thoughts. So at South Carolina for the women's team, after the game, they could just sign autographs like they're Michael Jackson. And that was something I've never seen because at a lot of different places, after the game, players go into the locker room. There, it becomes like fan central. They put like 20 minutes on the game clock, and they
Oh,
walk around
really?
the whole court. Yep, they line it off. You're just around your seats, and you just get autographs. They can hold the babies. You can take pictures,
So
selfies.
Penn State used to do that
Really?
before their spring game.
Mm,
So they would have an autograph session. I don't honestly have no idea if they still do it. Probably not.
mm-hmm,
I feel like I know about that, but they used to just have the players, around the entire field, all 100 players, whatever. They'd have them all lined up. They had like a 2-hour long autograph session, but that was
mm-hmm,
it. Now, players, I know this works at other schools too, but the tunnel that the players come in when they get off the bus before the game, they come out that way, and fans will be lined up outside, like in pack basically to get autographs of
mm-hmm.
players coming out. We used to do that like way back in the day when I was like probably 6 or 7.
Yeah.
The autographs from those guys. But yeah, they used to do that for the blue white game for the spring game. Couldn't tell you if they do that now, but that's not surprising that
Yeah.
they did they line up around the court and do it.
Yeah. So they
That's
just walk
crazy.
out the court. You can't come on the court, and you just like stand right around
Every
everywhere.
game they do that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So it's insane. But I also thought that's probably how they end up getting their money. Like all the
Sure.
NIL money, if you just sign the autographs, alumni probably love it because you get to be like personable with the players. And then so the big thing with South Carolina is it almost reminds me of old school UConn. At least 2-3 people are going to the league
Sure.
from that. You just don't know which one. So if you get all 12 autographs, one of them got to be worth something.
Sure.
So
That's
that's all we got.
Yeah.
That's all we got today. We'll talk about the Super Bowl next week. All-Star game is that next week. Until next time, we out.